Beyond the veil of silence, a lonely sentinel stands guard. Meet Anubis, the Shadowy Guardian, whose unwavering gaze keeps an eternal, sacred oath over the sanctuary of the dead.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take fascinating source materials and really dig into them to pull out, well, the most interesting insights for you.
Yeah, and today we're looking at ancient Egypt, but maybe a bit differently.
Right, we're moving past just the pharaohs and gold and looking at something really fundamental, divine guidance.
Exactly. Who were the original spiritual guides? It wasn't just about where souls went, but who helped them get there.
And we've got a great range of sources, from famous tombs like Tutankhamun's all the way to specific texts like the pyramid and coffin texts.
And even later stuff like Greco-Roman tombs from El Salamuni. It shows a real evolution.
Our goal here is to explore this whole idea through the Egyptian word SSM. That's SSM. It means guide, but it's more active, more directional.
Sort of like guidance and direction, even morality sometimes.
And if you're talking SS, you really have to start with the big one, the most recognizable guide, Anubis, the jackal-headed god.
Absolutely. He's kind of the ultimate figure here, the guardian of the necropolis, the one who leads the souls. The psychopomp.
Okay, so let's dive into that iconic artifact. The Anubis shrine found in Tutankhamun's tomb, KV62. Howard Carter found it back in 22.
And its placement was just so deliberate, wasn't it? Behind the entrance to the treasury room.
Facing west, dead west.
Which is always the direction of the afterlife, the duat. So he's literally guarding the way, positioned right there at the threshold.
It was sitting on a kind of sledge, ready to move almost.
Yeah, but even more than the location, I think, is the look of the jackal itself, the color.
It's striking. Made of wood, covered in plaster, but painted this deep, really intense black.
Right, and that's not just, a random choice. It's not the sandy color of a real desert jackal.
It's symbolic.
Deeply symbolic. That black connects to the fertile Nile mud, think regeneration, rebirth, but it also, maybe more directly, represents the color of embalmed flesh.
So it ties him straight into that cycle of death, preservation, and potential rebirth.
Exactly. And then you have the little details Carter noted.
Yeah, the flashes of gold leaf on the ears, the collar, and those eyes, obsidian and calcite, very piercing.
And the silver claws. Quite unusual. Silver wasn't as common as gold.
And inside the shrine itself, Carter found various cult objects, these little mummy-form figures of Ra and Thoth too.
It all points to intense ritual power. But the posture of the jackal, that's the real giveaway about his job.
Right. You mentioned this before. It's identical to a specific hieroglyph.
Jan for Shea. It translates basically as Anubis over the mysteries, or Anubis, master of secrets.
So the pose itself is a statement. He's the watcher, the guardian, but also the one who knows the secret rites.
Spot on. And that links directly back to his first, and really his most enduring job, God of Mummification, the Embalmer.
He had that specific title, didn't he? J.M.I. Reed.
He who's in the place of embalming. It was such a crucial, sacred task that the priests actually performing the mummification would sometimes wear these jackal-headed masks.
To embody his power, to channel Anubis.
Precisely, to bring that divine protection and skill right into the embalming tent.
But as you said, things evolved. Anubis wasn't always sort of second in command in the afterlife.
No, not at all. Go back to the Old Kingdom, maybe around 2400 BC, and he was the chief god of the dead. Top dog, so to speak.
So what changed? Around the Middle Kingdom, maybe 2000 BC?
Well, Osiris rises dramatically in importance. He becomes the undisputed king of the underworld. So
Anubis gets demoted.
I wouldn't say demoted exactly. His role shifts. It becomes more specialized. Osiris is the king, sure, but he needs Anubis's specific skills.
The skills of the embalmer.
Exactly. Anubis becomes the chief ritualist. He performs the critical rites, especially mummification, that actually allow the deceased entry into Osiris's kingdom. It's a change in function, not necessarily a loss of importance. He enables the whole process. #check guidance in the Hall of Judgment.
Okay, so this shift leads us to his other massive role, the SSM, the guide. Psychopomp.
Yes, he's the one responsible for actually leading the soul safely through the dangers of the underworld, the duat.
And leading them ultimately to that critical point, the Hall of Two Truths. The Judgment Hall.
This is it, the moment of reckoning, the weighing of the heart ceremony. The Greeks called it psychostasia.
And Anubis is right there, overseeing it all.
He is the master of the scales. He ensures order in what must have been, for the soul, an incredibly tense moment. He places the deceased heart on one side.
And on the other.
The feather of Ma'at. The goddess Ma'at represents truth, justice, cosmic balance, order, everything the universe depends on.
So the heart is weighed against truth itself. Wow, the stakes couldn't be higher.
Literally existential. If your heart, representing your life's deeds and intentions, was heavier than that feather.
Meaning you lived a life out of balance, full of wrongdoing.
Essentially, yes. If it tipped the scales the wrong way, you were done for, instantly.
Not hellfire, though, like in some traditions.
No, something perhaps more terrifying.
Okay.
Utter extinction. Your heart was immediately devoured by this monstrous creature called Amit,
Right, the part crocodile, part lion, part hippo beast.
the devourer of the dead. And if Amit ate your heart, your soul just ceased to exist. Wiped out.
You can see how knowing that was the ultimate penalty would encourage you to live according to Mat daily.
Absolutely.
Right.
And Anubis' role here is crucial. He ensures this terrifying judgment is conducted fairly, orderly.
Now, this is important because people often get Anubis wrong, don't they? Especially in, like, modern pop culture.
Very much so. He's often seen as this dark, maybe even evil figure, black, jackal-headed, associated with death. It's easy to map Western ideas of, say, Satan onto him.
But that's completely missing the point in the Egyptian context.
Totally. Anubis is the opposite of chaos. He represents order, duty, protection. He's the one who protected Osiris's body after Set murdered him.
Ah, Set. He's the chaos figure. The god of storms, violence, the desert. The one who killed his own brother.
Exactly. Set embodies disorder and malice. Anubis, by contrast, is the loyal guardian. He performed the first mummification on Osiris, allowing him to be resurrected.
So Anubis is the protector, the preserver, the ritual expert. He ensures the process works.
Right. And Osiris, he's the ultimate judge, the ruler of the afterlife after you pass the weighing. But Anubis is the guide who gets you there, the one who oversees that initial critical test.
And this whole idea of guidance, of SSM, it wasn't just about Anubis. It's all over the place in their funerary texts.
Oh, definitely. That was kind of the whole point of texts like the pyramid texts and coffin texts. They were literally guidebooks for the deceased.
The pyramid texts, the earliest ones, mention a god taking the dead king's arm and guiding him.
Into the sky's double shrine,
Yes.
leading the way. And later, the coffin texts got even more explicit.
Like the Book of Two Ways.
Yeah, that's basically a map of the duat. It shows the paths, the dangers, how to navigate the underworld. It's pure guidance literature.
So it really was a team effort, this guidance thing.
It seems so. You often see Matat herself presenting the deceased in the judgment hall, and Thoth, the god of wisdom and writing.
He's there recording the results of the weighing.
Yes, acting as the divine scribe, the witness. It adds another layer of sort of cosmic bureaucracy and justice to the proceedings.
Okay, let's jump forward quite a bit in time. This concept of the divine guide didn't stay static.
No, it kept evolving, and we see some really fascinating developments, especially when Egyptian culture starts blending with Greek and Roman influences.
You mentioned the tombs at El Salamuni in the Akhmim region.
Yes, from the Greco-Roman period.
Yeah.
You see this mix of traditional Egyptian funerary art alongside Hellenistic styles.
But the core team is still there, right? Anubis is still leading the deceased.
Anubis is still prominent, yes, often with Mat or maybe Hathor or Amentet, leading the deceased towards the judgment scene. That fundamental role continues.
But there's something unique in one of these tombs, Tomb C3.
Ah, yes. This is really intriguing. In one scene, you see Anubis and a goddess leading the deceased, as expected, but they're also leading this mysterious black silhouette figure.
Just a black outline of a person alongside the deceased.
Exactly, walking with them towards the court. And this silhouette seems to have had this ambivalent meaning.
Ambivalent how?
Well, sometimes it seems to represent the deceased in their perfected, blessed state, the Ak, their ultimate spiritual form.
Okay, their idealized self.
But other times, quite strikingly, it seems to represent a defeated enemy, or even like a counterweight in the judgment, almost like the embodiment of their negative aspect.
Wow, so you're walking to judgment potentially side by side with either your best self or like the ghost of your sins.
Something like that. It's a really complex image, and El Salamuni seems to be the main place we see it depicted so clearly in this context. It definitely ups the psychological drama.
It really does. It suggests a deeper focus on personal accountability, maybe?
Perhaps. But that's not the only surprise in these later tombs. There's another figure who shows up as a guide.
Not a traditional god.
Well, sort of.
Yeah.
A human who became a god. A local deity.
Okay, tell me about this.
In some of the funerary processions depicted in the tombs, particularly where offerings are being made to Osiris, or Sokar Osiris, you see this human figure.
Leading the procession.
No, interestingly, he's at the rear of the line of deities and offering bearers, and he's holding the hand of the deceased person.
Holding their hand like a guide.
Exactly like a guide. Scholars generally identify this figure as Heriodes, or Haruja in Egyptian. He was a local man who was deified, and his cult became quite popular in that specific area.
And he got linked with Greek gods.
Yeah, he was syncretized with Hermes, who was also a psychopomp, and Apollo. So he definitely had guide-like associations.
But wait, if he's a guide holding the deceased's hand, why isn't he up front? And why isn't he seen in the actual Judgment Hall scenes? Does that limit his power compared to Anubis?
That's the crucial distinction. You've hit it exactly. Heriodes is only shown in these offering processions.
Not in the Hall of Two Truth.
Never. He's never depicted leading the soul into the critical judgment. That role, the high-stakes guidance, remains firmly the job of Anubis, sometimes with Mad.
So Heriodes is more like a helper, an intercessor.
That seems to be the idea. He's acting as a local, relatable, human-turned divine helper. He helps the deceased in the process of achieving their final glorified state before Osiris.
Kind of boosting them, giving them support on the way.
Yeah, providing that localized assistance for transfiguration, but the ultimate core guidance, the passage through judgment, that's still Anubis's domain. His jackal paws are firmly on that path. Hashtag tag outro.
So when we look at this whole journey, the Egyptian concept of SS and guidance, it's so much richer than just pointing the way.
It really is. It's about divine direction, but also moral direction, managed by these very specialized gods, from Anubis, the Eternal Guardian and Master of Rites.
To someone like Heriodes, this local deified human figure offering specific help.
And underlying it all is this sense of accountability. Living by Ma'at wasn't just about being good. It was about ensuring your divine guide, Anubis, had a smooth, orderly path to lead you on after death.
That black jackal, forever watchful, becomes a symbol of cosmic order and personal responsibility.
He's your accountability partner, in a way.
And here's something to leave you thinking about. This idea of divine guidance wasn't just for the afterlife. It wasn't only about that final, terrifying journey.
No, the sources suggest it was deeply woven into daily life, too. Ancient Egyptians really seemed to believe the gods were actively guiding their everyday steps, their health, their journeys.
We even see it in personal letters, people writing things like, guidance has been given to me, when they're confirming they arrive safely or doing well.
It implies this constant reliance on divine direction for physical well-being just as much as spiritual salvation. That makes Anubis's role, or the role of guidance itself, feel much more immediate, doesn't it?
It does. It connects their world to maybe even ours. That continuous thread of seeking guidance, whether for the next life or just for getting through the day.
A constant force, managed by the divine, ensuring you are always on the path leading home.